All right, let's get settled in here and let's do this episode of the RR Show. I'm Vince, not going to mess around. We've got tales from retail and tales from tech support. So let's have a little bit of fun, shall we? Our first story is from r/tales from retail. It's posted by user Texas Chainsaw Malacre. My apologies if I completely massacred your username. I'm not accusing you of stealing. I can see the handle sticking out of your purse. About a month ago, there was more theft than normal going on in the makeup store I work at. And it's because of the fact that it was winter break. Unfortunately, when the teenagers in my area get a bit of free time, they feel it's appropriate to use it to come into our store and steal from us. We were finding wrapper after wrapper, box after box stuffed under aisles and in displays. It was really annoying because it reflects really poorly on the hours we get. Anyways, towards the end of Christmas break, we started to slow down. People had bought all their presents, spent their gift cards, so there wasn't much going on. Except for the one night in question. Me, my manager, who we'll call M, and my two coworkers, C1 and C2, were the only employees there. We were only an hour from close, and there was maybe 2 or 3 customers meandering around the store. I was replacing all the trash bags while my coworkers were cleaning up the register area. At my store, it's sort of an unspoken rule that we make a point of greeting every single person who comes through the front doors. So when a group of 3 teenage girls comes through, both my coworkers greeted them. They did what all the teenagers who come in to steal do. They don't acknowledge the greeters in hopes of coming off unapproachable. But my coworkers are seasoned retailers, so they immediately get on the walkie-talkies and alerted me to keep an eye out. C1, hey, original poster. C2 and I just said hi to those girls and they were acting a little weird. You might want to stay in that area and keep an eye on them. Original poster. I will leave the trash in the corner and I'll pick it up later. I didn't want the girls to feel like I was following them just in case we were wrong and they really just didn't want to be talked to. So I stood in the aisle on the left side of the aisle they were in. I had a direct view of them, but they would have had to come stand at the very end to see me. At first, they were just having a bit of fun, spraying our hand sanitizer testers at each other and opening the sugar scrubs to smell them. Nothing I really care about. But then, the sound of a crinkling wrapper made me lean in closer to look at what was going on. I noticed that the girl ripping the packet open was also holding a Starbucks cup, one of the ones with a flat lid for hot drinks. I watched as she took the hand sanitizer out of its packaging and removed the lid from her drink. I watched her put the hand sanitizer in the drink cup and replace the lid. I knew I was going to have to tell my manager. Original poster. Does M have a walkie-on? Because I just watched one of those girls steal a hand sanitizer. M, yeah, I do. Where are they? OP, original poster. They're in the bath aisles. I think they're gonna head up to the front soon. Unfortunately, that wasn't entirely correct. The girls rounded the corner of the next aisle, the one which housed all of our hairbrushes. A different girl, one with one of those lounge fly bags, unzipped it and put one of our Harry Potter themed hairbrushes in her bag. It didn't even zip up all the way. She tried to zip it up hard, but the end of the handle stuck out only slightly. They promptly abandoned that aisle and started making their way to the front of the store. OP. M, they're coming up right now. They put something in that drink cup and there's something in the backpack too. Now, we're not allowed to accuse people of stealing. We can get into trouble if we're incorrect, and we're definitely not allowed to hold them back from leaving. So I wasn't sure what my manager could do, but I wanted her to be aware. They made it up to the door when my manager stopped them, asking something she asks everyone who leaves our store empty-handed. The girls are G1, G2, and G3. M, my manager. Was there something we could help you guys find today? G1. No, you guys don't have what we want. Manager. Okay, well, is there any way I can get back the stuff you took from us so I don't have to trespass you from the store? G2. Are you accusing us of stealing? We didn't take anything. Manager. I'm not accusing you. I can see one of my hairbrushes sticking out of your friend's bag. The girls just all sort of looked at each other, not sure what to do. Eventually, the girl with the backpack ripped the hairbrush out of it and handed it to my manager. They started to walk past her when my manager stopped them again. Can you please give me whatever you put in that cup? Then you can go. The girl with the cup huffed and rolled her eyes. Nevertheless, she opened it and took out the hand sanitizer that was now covered in what looked like to be hot chocolate or maybe some really sugary coffee. She put it in my manager's hand. Manager. If you guys come back with your parents, I'm gonna have a talk with them because this is really ridiculous, girls. They all left really quickly, and we got to go about our business for the rest of the night. Could have been worse, but we never really get the stuff back people steal from us. So I wanted to share. All right, rolling on to our next story. This one, another tale from r/Tales from Retail, posted by our friend, I like this username, Chocolate Greedy 7283. Machines are taking over. For some context, I work in a store where it only has card self-checkouts. Cash can be paid, but only when you ask us to help, and the counter is usually closed. And we're planning on changing to cash and card self-checkouts in a month. My main job is to watch customers pay the money because we don't have those scanners that beeps when the customers shoplift. Help customers who have issues with self-checkout machines and clean and maintain our own areas in the store. There was a customer, an old lady, with at least 50 items with her. I asked if she needed any help, but instead went on a rant talking about how annoying the machines were and how the staff weren't needed anymore because self-checkout machines were taking over. She also told me to go away before she began to scan her own items. I just thought she was rude and annoying, so I left. While she was busy scanning her items, I noticed that one of the items had a promotion, 2 for the usual price of 1. So I told her that, and guess what? She went on another rant about how she didn't need help from the staff and she could handle it herself because she was capable enough to use the self-checkout and the self-checkout was smarter than us. That kind of rubbish. I shrugged it off and left again, but my supervisor saw this and asked what happened. So I explained the situation. She told me to ignore her when she faces any issues with the promo. And my sweet karma came in when the machine decided not to let her pay. Basically, the self-checkouts are incredibly sensitive. If you have a promo 2 for the price of 1, the machine will not let you proceed on to checkout unless you have 2 of the same item. It would have worked fine if she decided to just get the other item, but she was adamant on removing it, which is something only the staff can do because of a barcode only we have behind our name tags. So she decided to ask the staff for help just to remove the item, and I just ignored her as I watched her struggle with the machine. My coworker who helped her was really mad when I told her this story because she would have made the customer wait longer just to teach her a lesson on respect. Edit. Forgot to mention that the card and cash self-checkouts also follow the same 2 for 1 promo thing because it's part of the programming. And another story from Well, not Tales from Retail, r/Tales from Tech Support. Posted by user Atair. Customer couldn't remember the past 10 minutes apparently. For context, I work in a little smartphone repair shop where our sole mission is fixing hardware issues. No tech wizardry here. My role, however, doesn't involve wielding a soldering iron. It's more about playing the charming face of the shop and juggling office tasks. With just a trickle of customers strolling in daily, the job is usually stress-free. Well, most of the time. But among the ordinary tales of broken screens and cracked cases, there's one that truly stands out. One day, an elderly gentleman walked into our shop, concern written all over his face. He explained that he couldn't hear a word when he talked on his phone, convinced that the microphone was to blame. I simply corrected him, suggesting it might be the speakers that were misbehaving. So I inspected the speakers, but lo and behold, the built-in diagnostic tool on the phone decided to not work. So I just gave him a call. I dialed away and no sound. Though, no problem. With a smile, I assured the customer that we could fix it swiftly. All we needed was a speaker replacement. He asked about the cost and time to fix, and I told him 70 schmeckles. Not actual currency, and 2 hours for the job. The deal struck. He entrusted his phone to me. Since it was a relatively quick fix, he'd be back to reclaim his phone on the very same day. After the 2 hours passed, our elderly friend returned to collect his phone, eager to confirm its renewed health. I retrieved it for him, and he posed the quintessential question: does it work properly now? Truth be told, I hadn't personally performed the repair, but I assured our technician had given it a thorough test. Nevertheless, he needed reassurance. So he requested that we make a real phone call together to put it to the test. I complied, dialing his number. As the phone rang for a while, I ended the call, confident that the speakers were back in tune as indicated by the melody. Yet, the man remained unconvinced. He wanted to hear it in an actual conversation. I obliged, handing him the phone. We connected. To his delight, it worked. Satisfied, he settled the bill, wished me a pleasant evening, and made his exit. I reclined in my chair, replaying the exchange in my mind. Just another day at the office. Or so I thought. However, no more than 10 minutes later, our shop phone rang. I answered, phone repairing company, good evening, how can I assist you? The voice on the other end responded, you called me 10 minutes ago, what's the matter? I was bewildered. The company phone had been in my possession the entire time. I hadn't made any calls. It was the same gentleman from our store, now on the other end of the line. I explained that he had been in our shop only a short while ago. He chuckled, apologized, and promptly hung up. The day took an unexpected comedic twist, and my coworkers and I shared the heartiest laugh we had for quite some time. Surprise little bonus, we're going to add another story in here for you from r/TIFU. Oh, this one's good. All right, so TIFU by buying 5-inch shorts from Frosty Drawer 7838. For the last several years, I've worn longer shorts, like typical basketball or workout shorts that cut off at the knee. Recently, my wife told me that she wanted me to go shorter so she could see more of my legs because I have sexy legs. Her words, not mine. I figure I gotta keep my lady impressed, so I started shopping for new shorts and concluded that 6-inch or 7-inch inseam is about right. These hit me just above the knee and she seemed to be okay with that. Well, I have this pair of workout shorts that's the BCG brand from Academy Sports that have this liner in them. The liner is like a pair of briefs built in, but it's stretchy and breathable, and it's actually really comfortable. I'm a boxer brief guy, but these are actually really comfortable to the point where they become my favorite shorts to work out in. Well, last week I decided I wanted another pair or two, so I went back to Academy Sports, and all they had in my size were the 5-inch inseam. The original pair is a 7-inch inseam. My wife and I were together, and I thought they might be too short. She suggested I try them on, so I did. She loved them. Said they really showed off my legs, and I thought they felt fine, so I went for it. Well, this past Wednesday, I wore them, relying solely on the liner to keep me in place, and it mostly worked. It was chest day, and I went to do some sets on the decline bench, and this is where it all went wrong. The decline at my gym is actually pretty tall, and I'm not super tall, so mounting it is a little bit of an issue, but I've done this hundreds of times to the point where I don't even think about it. So I go for my usual move, lift my right leg up and over the center bar and insert my leg in the slot. The stirrup, I'm not sure what you call it. At this point, I'm standing there with my right leg locked in. From here, I normally get a little bounce with my left leg, spring up, sliding my left leg into the slot as my butt hits the bench, and then I lay back. It all kind of happens in one motion. Again, I've done this hundreds of times. Well, this time, I went for it. I'm not really even sure what happened, but I guess my butt hit the seat too early. All I know is that I was in a motion and at the point of no return. I could feel my shorts being twisted and things shifting around, but I couldn't stop my momentum. As my back hit the seat, I realized my leg didn't make it into the slot good, and I was essentially... Let me try that again. As my back hit the seat, I realized my left leg didn't make it into the slot, and I was eventually spread eagle. Then I felt the sensation of cool air somewhere it shouldn't be. That's when I realized that everything popped out of my pants, or my shorts leg, and I was on full display. Everything was out. Fortunately, I was able to gather things up, slip everything back in rather quickly. I'm not sure who else saw, but if you're the lady that I was on the rowing machine at the YMCA this past Wednesday between 5:15 and 5:30, I'm truly sorry. So thanks for being with us. The RR Show is a production of Evergreen Podcasts and Wessler Media. Now, if you'd be so kind, please follow or subscribe to our show wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're feeling extra nice, you might as well leave a 5-star review. But for more, visit the website, rrshow.com. That is rrshow.com. I'm your host, Vince. Thank you to my producer, Kevin, and we'll see you next time here on The RR Show.